Hello, everybody. My name is Christian Slider, and welcome back to That's the Flavor, your weekly podcast where I sit down with my friends and talk about my life or random stuff like ducks fighting or a Vietnam story or any other thing that you can think about that I've talked about the podcast so far. We are here with episode 12, and I am joined by the returning guest, Peyton. So, Peyton, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
Hi, thanks for having me back. I'm doing pretty good. Just sipping on some coffee, just chilling, procrastinating all the work I have to do today, the usual.
Yeah, the usual, exactly. I feel like everybody's there. It's like, why do your homework, and like all your work when like you could do it, like and you're not stressed out and procrastinating, or just why not do it like the night it's due? Do a whole research paper.
Exactly. I don't see the problem. Listen, it hasn't failed me yet, and I think that's the
Exactly.
problem, is I've never had it like not work in my favor. So I'm just like, well, I guess I can just keep doing it.
Exactly. But here's the great thing, or the great thing about it, right? It's like, oh man, what was I gonna say? I was like, oh man, it's like, oh yeah, great. Procrastination works out great for me, but it only works out great because like like people stress themselves out doing it.
Mhm.
So like, as much as you get it done, you're also like slowly losing your sanity.
Yeah,
So there's that.
exactly.
So I'm not sure how to feel about that though. I mean,
Yeah,
sanity's kind of important.
yeah, like only like minorly so in my opinion. Um, But like, I mean, I work best when I'm like under stress. And I'm like, if this doesn't get done now, I like it's over. Like, so that mindset is like what gets me to like crack like papers out like nobody's business or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
So like I work best under that environment, but I can't just like make myself. But if I'm not in that mindset, I'm just like, well, I have no motivation to do work, which is really, really going great. It's really going great.
Yeah, like last week. If you rewind a little bit, I had a research paper due, and I was like, wow, I knew it was coming." Mind you, I had like a 3 week notice on this research paper, um, and I decided, big brain me over here, going, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it the day of." The day of it was due at 11:59 on Sunday. I
How
spent
many pages
all.
does it have to be?
Oh, look at this. So it was only two, right? So it was the
Oh my
easiest paper
gosh,
in the world, and I
Christian,
could have.
I wrote a 15-page research
I
paper last semester. Get over
No,
it.
trust me, I know. It was not a large paper, so like I could have just knocked it out real easy.
Yeah.
But it's the point of I got 100 on it.
Are you kidding me?
I didn't get like a 99, a 98. I got 100 on it.
Incredible job, Christian. Incredible job.
Exactly. Trust me, it's I've written some more lengthy research papers in my day, so I was like, oh, this is nothing. I'll knock this one out, no problem.
Uh, no,
But
I totally feel this week, well, I guess this past week now, I had a midterm due for my one history class about sex, gender, and family in the medieval era.
oh,
So yeah, it's a fun class. I like it. Um, but I had to write three, either two or three, and I had planned to do three because the way he had it, he's like, you could either do three now and two later for your final, or two now and three later for your final. So I was just going to get the three done out of the way because I knew at the end of the semester it'd be a mess.
sure.
But I ended up just going with the two because the third one I was not confident on. But it was, I had to do, so I ended up doing two 4 to 5 page papers, and I waited till like the last 2 days to even start them.
Oh, oh no.
And I mean, it's not like he's actually grading them or anything. He just wanted us to turn in our, and it's rough drafts. He wanted us to turn in our rough drafts and then email them to two other people in our class to like peer review them. So there wasn't a
Sure.
whole lot of pressure, but like still, it was still the fact that I pushed off what I originally planned to do three 4 to 5 page papers in the span of 2 days.
Yeah, that's
And I
just
said, that's fine.
that's just not healthy. I mean, it's fine. It worked out, but that's at a
Yeah.
certain. I feel like that's reaching like to the top of the scale on
Yeah.
procrastination.
Yeah, Christian, I got it bad this semester. It's rough.
Oh, trust me, I know. Just like it's funny because I say that, being a theater major and comparing it to like all of my other friends, like major in different areas, and it's like, oh, they're doing this work, and it's like I feel like everybody's work has just been doubled or tripled in some cases. So it's like, hey, you
Yeah.
normally in like this kind of class do like two papers a semester. Oh, hey, now you're doing six.
Yeah,
Like,
because there's like no like time, like a lot of teachers don't trust like online exams because they're like, well, kids can cheat. And yes, that makes sense. But like they've just like piled on like the written workload, and it's just like I don't have time for this. I work like 20 hours a week and like I'm in two or three extracurricular activities. So like I don't have time
Right.
for this, but somehow they're like, no, you're gonna find time.
You're gonna
You're
figure it
gonna
out
do it.
because this is what it is.
That's
This
what
is
it
school
is.
now.
Yeah. And that's the
Yeah.
thing is like the thing I keep seeing with everything being online, everything is like I feel like I'm really not learning anything. I'm just kind of turning in assignments by like
Yeah.
11:59. And then as soon as I turn that assignment in, information's all gone. And it's
Yeah.
really unfortunate because like I like school to an extent. I enjoy it. Um, so like I don't know. It's just a little upsetting.
Yeah, and I
Um,
think what's what's really interesting is I feel like online schooling itself has kind of like, and not on, I'll say online because online schooling happens whatever, like this virtual learning that like everybody's doing on like you're on Zoom or whatever. Like I feel like almost proves the fact that like the education system's not necessarily in the best place. You know what I mean? Of how like it's like, hey, cram and test, turn in an assignment, and like retention just doesn't happen. And
yeah.
I feel like this is the perfect example of that because it's like
Oh yeah.
I know places and like friends that are going to colleges that are like not like that are using like four different platforms to like turn in assignments and work and stuff like that. And so it's like trying to keep track of all that, turn it all in on time with deadlines being the way they are. And it's just like there's no retention happening. And I feel like it's the biggest example of like a flawed education system.
Oh, I totally agree. I saw this video or something like that on or some tweet or something like that. I don't remember. So I'm
Right.
not taking credit for this or anything like that. But this woman was like in the her kid was like in second or third grade or something like that.
Yeah.
And the she was like she had to like go get a drink or like go to the bathroom or something like that. And like her like elementary school teacher like snapped at her for like getting up and like going to do whatever like in her own house. And or no, I remember what it was. She needed to get a laptop charger because the computer was going to die.
Okay.
And she was like, no, you can't get up, you're in class, blah 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 blah. And then her mom was like in the background and was just like, fine, let the computer die. And the teacher like froze up and was like, I had no idea like the parent was back there like listening to me scold her child. And so I think like the comment of it was like how much like the education system's just about like not necessarily controlling kids, but you know, like keeping them under a stern watch and like stern regiment and everything like that.
Yeah.
Um and they don't they get away with it because you know the parents don't know because they're not there. But now that they're there, like right there, they know what's going on now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And I think it's such a weird clash, especially right now. And I don't like, mind you, this isn't either of us taking shots at any like
Oh yeah,
professors or
no, no,
teachers or
no, no.
anything like that. This is just students' thoughts, and I just want to point that because
Mm-hmm.
I know my voice professor's listening to this right now, critiquing my
Oh boy.
speak. Yeah, no, it's a good
Oh.
time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm kidding. Hi,
Hi,
if you
professor.
listen, but it's one of those things too where I think it's this weird clash of some teachers and professors, or however you want to look at it, trying to teach normally
Mm-hmm.
and then this the whole situation being not normal, and it's this clash of like these ideals and I think the lack of a give and take of what's really going on right now. You know what I mean? Because this is new for everyone, or like not necessarily new if you go back to like looking at last semester or like the way that this quarantine and shelter in place and stuff started, but it's still new. I don't know, like new I feel like is the word for it because it's
It's
just
new and also different because the reason it's new in the sense that we've never had a semester that was structured to be online because they knew it in advance. Last semester was just like they just kind of had to make it up as they went along because it came out of the blue. Like we went away for spring break and they were like, you're not coming back. And
yeah,
professors figure out how you're going to do the rest of your semester online. So it was kind of like they were just experimenting and trying to like figure out what worked, what didn't. So it was new. So this semester is new in the sense that they planned for it to be, they planned an in-person and an online because the university made them, at least my university did.
yeah,
Um, so it's like, it's different because they actually had time to plan this one. But, and by making it that, like, by having that difference in there, it also makes it really new because most students, yeah, there are some students who do all their classes online because they're just like, I mean, there's a bunch of universities that profit from being completely online and like and allow like students to like go at their own pace and get their degree at their own pace and everything
right,
like that. Like that's like a university like what like Phoenix or Arizona or something like that. Like I don't
yeah.
remember the one that I'm thinking of in my head,
No,
but
there's a lot of them out there. Like
yeah,
they're yeah.
but most of the students on college campuses are there for like the in-person college experience. And so taking that away, it makes it like this whole new different vibe and just all around just different than what a normal year of school, like, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
losing my train of thought and it's derailing and I'm panicking. So I'm just gonna let you take over.
Yeah, no, it's just this new experience that I think it's still, and here's the thing. I think that as much as it was planned, like, as much as teachers and professors had time to plan for this like next semester, like this next section, like year of schooling and stuff, I feel like so much time was also spent arguing about what schools were going to do that it's still just messy. And that's just the unfortunate thing is like everything going on like school wise is just messy in a lot of places, and it's like rules and regulations and guidelines aren't necessarily well laid out in most places, and so it's just messy. And I think that's the greatest way to sum up. And messy leads to frustrating for not only both students but also educators. And I don't know, hopefully, because I know the college that I go to has already kind of announced that our next semester is going to be online.
Ours announced a delayed start.
Gotcha.
Which is kind of weird. Like, we're not starting until like February or something like that.
Oh, that's real weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I think they're doing like the first couple weeks of the semester online, and then they're bringing us back on campus in February. And I'm like, why? I don't understand like what that extra time away is going to do for anybody.
Yeah, and honestly, I should read my emails from my school, but that's another topic. But there's talk that they may have like walked that back a little more, and like we're like going to be back in person in March and stuff like that for like the second half of the semester kind of scenario. Yeah. But it's just one of those things of I just hope that everything is like not only just for my college, but everywhere else is just kind of smooth and planned out. So like I don't know, high schoolers and stuff have a better second half of the year, because I know like some of my friends that are still in high school that are kind of like struggling and stuff like that. Just like I hope everything is smooth and planned better, and so just that way everybody can win, because I feel like trying to force it doesn't work. It makes me sad.
Yeah. No.
But enough about sad school talk and how frustrating it is. Trust me, we could probably do a whole episode on this, because
honestly we could. It's just student frustration with everything going on.
Yeah, and it's such a weird thing to be frustrated, right? To talk about being frustrated, especially on a podcast or a video or wherever where there's an audience, because it's like, yes, I can 1000% understand there are other bigger issues going on in the world and even in the country. So like, but it's just like this is one of those. This is one of those things for me right now.
That like directly affects like a lot. Unfortunately, right now, like a lot of the stuff going on, like yes, it directly impacts, but not nearly as directly as like what situation every college student in America is currently like living in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like our like every day is.
Yeah, if you look at the college environment, this is kind of the issue right now. And then the country and the world has other issues going on. But yeah, if you shrink it down to this level, definitely. But I want to pivot a little bit and I want to talk about Spicy Chicken McNuggets. Now, buckle in, audience, because we got ourselves a little bit of a story. Oh, and also, I realize I'm probably going to have to sneak it in somewhere, but this is important to note. That's the Flavor is brought to you every Monday, on your favorite podcast services. After we get through all the depressing school talk, I completely forgot to do the housekeeping stuff. So we're going to fit that in right here, 10 minutes in. Right. That's the Flavor brought to you every Monday on your favorite podcast services. That means your Spotify, your Google Podcasts, your Stitchers, your Apple Podcasts. You guys know the dealio wheelio. And also, this week's episode is brought to you by Anchor, but I'll tell you more about that later here in the episode. So stay tuned for that, as always. And that's kind of that stuff, just, share the podcast around, tell your grandma, tell your uncle, your aunt, maybe your friends, just do your thing. Hang out, have a good time. Welcome to That's the Flavor. Again, there's your second welcome for the day. But more importantly, whatever, I want to talk again, as I've already said, about Spicy Chicken McNuggets. So we've rewind to a week ago. Spicy Nuggets came out, roughly, of course. Maybe it's a little over a week. Who knows? Dates aren't important.
At McDonald's?
At McDonald's.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. We're talking McNuggets, Peyton.
Okay.
McNuggets.
I'm following.
Do you think Wendy's has any McNuggets?
They don't, but they do have spicy nuggets that I've heard are very good. As you know, Christian, I'm not a spicy person.
Oh, so... trust me, I know.
You have to force mild wings.
Hey, you want one of these mild wings?
Listen, all right. I'm
Peyton,
getting
why is your
better.
face red?
Why is your nose running after 1 week? I don't know, Christian.
Pans
I don't
camera back
know.
around to face me, and it's just me inhaling them like a vacuum cleaner. Like,
Literally.
wow, I don't really even taste the spice here, Jim. Like, but yes, spicy nuggets from Wendy's are the bomb diggity. But I think that these ones from McDonald's take the cake, actually, after today's experience. But go to McDonald's a week ago, go, man, I really want some spicy nugs. And I kid you not, they were out of McNuggets. Not just spicy nuggets. All the nuggets, where they were just out.
All of the nuggets.
They were just out. I've never seen a McDonald's menu say coming back soon over top one of the meal options because they don't have the nuggets.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Okay, you know what? I need you to be more enthused or disappointed.
I am enthused.
Yeah, sure. I feel the energy.
I mean, I don't eat McNuggets. Like, I'm not a huge fan of them.
We're
So
gonna have to change that.
I used to like them, but then after they made us watch all those videos in high
Fair
school,
point.
I've been deterred from McNuggets. I'll eat nuggets other places, but not McDonald's.
Fair point. I did the American thing when they showed that video, and I covered my eyes because McNuggets here are the grace of God.
I like their fries, and their burgers can be pretty good. I don't eat I don't honestly eat at McDonald's in general very often. Like,
sure.
Like if I could choose other fast food places over McDonald's, I will. Just because I don't know, I just prefer others. So
fair point. No, yeah.
Like, Wendy's nuggets, those are it. Those are it. And they give you the nice honey mustard with them. It's just very nice. It's just very nice. Plus the 4 for $4, better deal than the Louisiana Purchase. Changed my mind.
Better deal than the Louisiana. Nice.
I saw that tweet somewhere like years ago, and I just keep saying it, and like I don't want to take credit for it because someday someone's gonna come out of the woodwork and be like, I actually tweeted that, and I'll be like, I'm sorry, I've just been saying it for 3 years. I don't remember who said it anymore.
I don't know whose it is. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I just say it because it's funny.
Right. So today I got my redemption.
Oh.
So I was out doing some shopping before the recording, and I was shopping with my mom, doing some grocery stuff. I got some. Yes, I did. That's true. It's true. You can go read the receipts. They're there, audience.
The receipts, Christian. So don't even try why.
So I was like, hey, can we stop by McDonald's? Because I wanted to, swoop up some of those spicy nugs. Guess what? They had the spicy nugs. And so let me tell you, spicy, I don't know, isn't the word I'd use. Like, I feel like, here's the thing. Spicy always gets me overhyped, right?
Okay.
And I think that's just really the issue. Spicy gets me overhyped to their, oh man, these things are going to be flaming. They're going to be way too hot. And they got a little bit of heat to them, a little bit of some taste, some flavor. Some flavor. That's right. That's on brand.
Flavor.
That's on brand.
Is that indeed the flavor, Christian?
One might say, Peyton. One could hypothetically say. One could hypothetically say it's the flavor.
Is it official that are you deeming this the official flavor of that's the flavor? Because everyone always asks you, what is the flavor?
I'm deeming it.
Nugs?
I'm deeming it the current flavor of that's the flavor.
All right, gotcha.
I'm not going to get trapped in any official loopholes here. Trust me, I'm a smart podcast owner. All right.
I understand.
I got to read the fine lines of this spicy nugget contract first.
I gotcha. Don't you even worry about it.
But let me tell you, they're pretty good.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say. They're pretty good. Like, they're not crazy, blow it out of the water spicy, but like they're just pretty good. It kind of reminds me of like take a curly fry batter, like a seasoned curly fry, and just kind of put the nugget in that. And you fry it.
I love seasoned curly fries.
That's the vibe.
So good.
That's the vibe with it.
They're the best fries on the planet, and no one can change my mind.
Okay, what about like the smiley face fries that are like really gross texturally, but they're cool because they're smiley faces?
Well, they're cool, but also they're just like really plain. Like, they're like the plainest of the fries, in my opinion, because there's just so much potato there and they don't compensate it with enough salt.
All right, so I'm gonna act like you didn't just say that.
But it's
We're gonna move on.
Everybody else has salt on their fries.
I know, but like, it just smiles back at you like a goldfish.
It does. It is the snack. It's the potato that smiles back.
Smiley face. Right. Exactly. Man. But yeah, spicy nuggets, I give them I give him 4 me falling in a recycling bins out of 5.
Really?
Yeah, they're up there. Maybe 4.5 me falling in recycling bins. Who knows?
Oh.
So Peyton, I'm not sure if you saw this tweet that I retweeted on the That's the Flavor account. So it was on the That's the Flavor Twitter account, which hey, go follow at That's the Flavor on Twitter. Smile. But it's from this Twitter account, him Dave on Twitter, and the caption to his tweet is "Don't forget to turn off your camera, kids." Don't forget to turn your camera off, kids. And it's an email. It's an email from a professor to a student, and it reads like this: "Hi, David. I wanted to reach out to you following this morning's class. I really appreciated your contributions to our discussion, but I felt that I should follow up with you. I noticed that, during class, you appeared to consume an entire chocolate cake. Normally, I would never be one to police my students' eating habits, but I reviewed the class recording, and you finished the whole thing in 43 seconds.
Crap.
I'm pretty sure I watched you unhinge your jaw like some kind of snake. Is everything okay at home? Is your jaw okay? Please let me know if I can be of any support. Best," and it doesn't say the professor's name.
Oh.
But
Oh my gosh. Incredible. What a
I
legend.
then quote tweeted that was saying, "I want to have this guy on That's the Flavor," because 43 seconds is impressive. So, David, if you're out there, come on That's the Flavor. Let's talk about the experience. What was it like to eat the whole cake that fast? I'm just really curious. I'm pretty sure you're getting a lot of offers because your tweet, I think, kind of blew up. So I'm just saying, if you have some free time, you want to come stop in, hang out, have a good time on here. That's Flavor. It's out there. An audience, I'm going to need your help with this one. Let's all go ahead and contact Dave here. Go to That's Flavor Twitter account. You can see the tweet that I retweeted, and let's let David know that we want him on here as a guest. He doesn't know me. I don't know him, but I'd like to. Okay, but also pivoting off that shameless plug, a whole chocolate cake. Like it's not a slice of cake. He didn't inhale it. It's the whole chocolate cake.
It's the whole cake. Well, the question is, how big is the cake? The professor doesn't specify how big the cake is.
Okay, well, how big is a human mouth? Hang on. Google.
I don't know.
How big is a human mouth? In studies, let's see. The average jaw-mouth opening has generally been around 50 millimeters, with a range from 32 to 77. Men can open to about 50 to 60, women to 45 to 55. All right, so we'll say 55 then, just for David here. You know, it's in between the men's range of 50 to 60. Just for how big is a chocolate cake?
Well, they make them in a bunch. Okay.
Is a normal chocolate cake. There you go. That'll
standard is the word.
Oh yeah, good point. I like how when I typed in normal, it was how big is it normal uterus, and I don't know how to feel about that. Luckily, we're going to go with standard instead here.
Oh no.
How big is a standard paper? How big is a standard shot glass? How big is a standard 2-car garage? Payne, what do you think? How big is a standard 2-car garage?
2 cars. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
How big is a car? Multiply it by 2.
I just imagine a contractor showing up to the work site for building this house. Hey man, how big are we making this 2-car garage again? Shrug shoulders. I don't know. About 2 cars.
About 2 cars.
All right. This looks like a small-ish. It has the word standard in its recipe. Easy moist chocolate cake recipe.
You didn't have to read that, you know.
Easy moist chocolate cake recipe.
Okay.
I read it again.
I know.
Never mind. That one's way too big. There's no way.
My guess
is
probably 8 by 8. That's a pretty standard cake size.
So 8 inches. So you're saying 8 by 8 is in inches, not feet?
Yes, that is what I'm saying, Christian.
Okay, I'm trying to make sure for clarity, podcast reasons here, Peyton. Who knows? An 8 foot by 8 foot cake. Who knows?
Probably a
Um,
circular, so it's like 8 in diameter.
yeah.
I don't know how much that's circumference. I don't remember. How to do math.
All right. Well, this is rough. Okay, so 55 millimeters, right? Like we are talking about the mouth opening, equals just over 2 inches.
Yeah, about. That makes sense.
So he would have had to, I assume, roll it. If we're talking an 8 inch by 8 inch cake, which I was thinking, which we're gonna talk about the theories here on this because I got a couple. So I think that if we're talking an 8 by 8, he probably had to have rolled it up like a fruit roll up, maybe squish it
Yeah,
down a little bit, and then just
like
voop.
burrito.
Yeah, like just in the throat, like down the chute, you know?
Yeah, like one of those roll cakes.
Right, right. I also think that the other possibility here is, what if it's one of those smaller round cakes that you can get at like Walmart,
That's what I was thinking.
and
It
he
was.
just went voomp.
Just
Voomp again is the sound I would use to swallow a chocolate cake whole.
yeah, it's like Kirby.
Yeah. Wait a minute, is this man Kirby? This is important.
I think he's Kirby.
All right,
He just
David,
like
if you're out here,
vacuumed in
you're
the
listening
cake.
to this, are you Kirby?
We need answers pretty much immediately.
Yeah, we need to know now. There's many things we didn't know.
needed answers yesterday, so you're a little behind, buddy boy.
Yeah. This is kind of important.
Saying.
Also, like, I'm just happy that his professor allows him to eat during class, because mine don't.
I know. Mine are a little picky about it, but like I usually just turn my camera off, and then they get upset for me turning my camera off because they want to keep it as much like a normal class as possible. But I'm
Fair
like,
point.
do you want to watch me eat? Do you?
What I've started to do is whatever I'm eating, I'll hide off camera, and then I'll just peek my head on and off the camera as I take bites.
Nice.
So that's that.
Yeah.
Man, I kind of want to try to eat a chocolate cake now in less than 43 seconds.
Gosh.
I feel like we got to try this.
What's Guinness say about this?
Is this going to be the first That's the Flavor video? Me trying to eat a whole chocolate cake in under 43 seconds?
Trying to beat Dav's record?
Look, Dav, he's a rookie. All right, he doesn't know how little I've trained.
Over here.
He doesn't know how little I've trained. All right, Peyton. He doesn't know what I have and have not been through, right? But before we find out if I'm going or not going to challenge Dav or David or Dev or him Dav, whatever wants to go by, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Oh.
And we're back. We're back to the episode. We're here hanging out, having a grand time. Hope you guys enjoyed those ads. Winky face. Or maybe you didn't enjoy it. I say ads, it's one. It's one of them. At least it should be. If it's multiple, then I did my job wrong.
Oh.
But
isn't that good?
What's up?
If there's multiple, doesn't mean that's good though.
Yeah, not necessarily, because of the way I'm allowed to structure the episode, so I can actually choose how many ads get run, and I go with one.
I see.
Yeah, like I could hypothetically make an entire episode that's just like 1 minute of me talking, and then just ad breaks, and an outro. I could do that. Yeah, it wouldn't be cool.
I'm very thankful that you don't.
Yeah, it's kind of unethical. So maybe I won't go that route. But Peyton, I want to talk about a story today because it's been a minute we've had a good story time on the show. Okay. And I don't know if you were here for this one, but me attempting to jump into a trash can.
Oh, like the OG story?
No, not the recycling bin one. The senior year, me trying to recreate a Vine on Vine Day, and then missing. I feel like you were here for this one.
I heard that coming from the band room.
Yeah.
Like I was in the band room, and since the choir room's right next to the band room, I think I heard a loud thud, and I was like, "Oh, wonder what that could be." Back to clarinet playing.
So, I'm gonna take you back, audience. The year's, I believe, 2018.
Yes, that would be the year.
The year's 2018. My senior year of high school, also Peyton's senior year of high school. We had a Vine Day or Vine/meme day, a Spirit Day at our high school, and I decided I wanted to be the meme. The Vine where he goes like, oh, it's like the fuck this shit, I'm out, and then he jumps into the trash can and like rolls away, and the dude's like wearing all black, he's got like a black backpack, and like he jumps in and he just kind of like rolls away.
If
And so I
y'all
was
are curious, the meme I chose was the girl who pretended that her inhaler was a vape because I'm asthmatic. So I brought my inhaler with me and I just pretended my inhaler was a vape all day, in case you were curious.
Oh, that day was such a good spirit day.
It
I
was
loved
good.
that was great. Um, my favorites of that day was Aussies. Cause do you remember what Aussies was?
No.
And I don't know how to describe it either, but it's like the dude who's dressed up in like all the colorful workout gear, and he's like running really weird if his arm is
Oh,
swinging.
yes.
I forget the
The
song that
take
goes
on
with it.
me, guys.
Yeah, so that was a good one. So
Yeah.
I was that Vine for Vine/meme day. And unfortunately, I didn't like have a trash can like carry around with me because like it's a big like one of those gray trash cans with a big like black trash bags. So I go to my second period class, which is chamber singers, which is in the choir room. Choir room is where I spent most of my time senior year anyway. I say most. We'll say like I think I spent like half the day in that area of the school. Actually, I'll widen it a little bit. But going in there, and our choir director is talking with somebody else. So like we have a little bit of time. We're just trying to like kill before like we actually get into class. Because chamber singers honestly pretty chill, or at least when I was in there, like it's a pretty chill class. Not much, not that not much happens in there because it does once you have things going. But like everyone's kind of chill. It's a good time. So we see that there's a trash can, an empty big gray with a black trash bag trash can hanging out in the hallway. Everybody knows we have a little bit of extra time. So I say, well, you know what? To really be the Vine, I have to go out and jump into it and then roll away. It makes the most sense.
Obviously.
So everybody literally files out in the hallway. Mind you, there's some band kids that are still out there in their lockers getting their stuff, just talking. Like it's like kind of
That
in
might
between
have been me,
periods.
actually. I
Yeah,
think
it's
I
like
was among those people at my
so
band locker.
there was way more people in the hallway than I thought there was. Like when I realized it after the fact, it was like, oh, just like me and a couple friends will be goofy, right? No, there was way more people in that
There
hallway.
was a whole audience.
Yeah, it was great. So I line it up, and mind you, he runs backwards and jumps in the trash can. So I had Ozzy line up the trash can and say, "Hey man, is it good?" He goes, "Yeah, it's good." So I go, do a little. Some of my friends recording it. Another friend of mine, I think it was one of the Sarahs. Who knows? But recording it, and I go, and I jump, and I instead of jumping into it, I clip the front end of it, fall forward, and just land face first somehow. I don't know how it all worked out on the ground. Just smack right in front of everyone. It was missed. It happened. It was terrible. And actually, I think I still have the video. Maybe I'll put it on the Twitter account after recording this with no context, and then people will realize it on tomorrow. But that happened. It was a little rough, a little wild. And it was so loud. Everybody's like, Christian, like, what the hell? What happened? Like, oh man, you need to learn how to jump. And then the one person, not our choir director, the other person he was talking to, comes out, peeks out in the hallway, and goes, "What is going on? Get up off the floor. What is going on out here? Act like a student." And like we kind of got like all scolded and yelled at. And it was whatever. Like, mind you, it hurt. I literally like missed a jump and fell into the tile floor. Fast forward a little bit. This video that was taken got put into the memory section at our choir banquet at the end of the year. So in front of everybody and their parents, I had to sit there as people watched it happen.
Oh no. That's
like
so funny.
Like it was already embarrassing enough, and everybody knew about it. Like everybody that was like important and a good friend to me already knew about it, and it was already this like big joke, especially because of all the other stupid things I've done. But like this one, I just had to stare, just like freshman parents and stuff, like just like watched it happen. I was like, yeah, it's me, the senior. I'm leaving. Like, it was such a weird moment. I hated it. Yeah, hi guys, it's me. But don't worry, I've been one of the people that's like a mentor to your son or daughter, like because they like me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh no, don't worry.
Oh my god, so funny.
Everyone thinks I'm an idiot now, but no. So that happened, and that was just a moment. That was something scary. Now, Peyton, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Because as everybody comes on the show, I've been asking, what's their go-to, since everybody's been back on the show, since the show's been back, mind you, actually, I've been asking everybody what their go-to Christian Slider memory is.
Okay.
And mind you, it doesn't matter if it's been talked about or not, and also even if like we've talked about it, but just to know and get it out there on the record, what is your go-to Christian Slider memory? You'd be like, hey, this is my friend so-and-so, and like, or like, hey, whatever, like, what's like the go-to memory you'd use to like describe me?
I'd say the first one that popped in my head was obviously New York because I mean we took on L Manhattan together. Um,
L Manhattan.
L
Yes,
Manhattan.
that is the actual English and then Spanish translation.
Yeah.
It's L
hmm
Manhattan.
Yes. And we saw probably well, I don't know if it's like my all-time favorite music, but it's one of my favorite musicals of all time. Together right before the whole world shut down. It's like one of my like last memories before everything is just Corona. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's definitely probably my like first one that popped in my head. But the one that really sums up who you are as a person, in my mind, has to be your creative writing final.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a wild one. So strap in.
Yeah. So Christian and I, my senior and his senior year, we were in creative writing together. Um, we sat at a table of four with like two other people, and we just wreaked havoc that entire class. And it all culminated into how much of a bullshit class that class was with Christian Slider's final project.
All right. So our final project, it was like, oh hey, write a short story or like write a something. You know, like it was like I think it was
We
that,
had
right?
to do a full complete project. It could have been anything. Like I'll just tell you what my final project was,
Yeah.
and then
Let's
we'll
get some
get into
perspective set up
Christian.
here. Yeah. Yeah.
So my final project was a children's book. I wrote and illustrated a children's book for my final. I used like spray paint to like because I did like I think it was like I did it themed of like a constellation. I never got that project back, by the way. I was really proud of it, and our teacher never gave that project back to me, and I'm very upset about it.
Yeah.
Still, but I think my children's story was like there was like this star who was like out in the galaxy like by himself. He like didn't have anybody. And then by the end, he was like brought into a new constellation, so he had like a family and like a group.
Aw.
And yeah, so like I was using spray paint to make it look like galaxies because you know like you can like they get concentrated, then like the rest of it like blows out and it kind of looks like a galaxy. So I was using like cool like different a bunch of different like painting techniques and like drawing techniques and stuff like that to make it look like a really interesting and cool children's book.
Yeah.
And then Christian's project.
Okay, so also before we get into mine, what was the grade you got on your project? Do you remember roughly?
I was pretty sure it was 100%.
Okay, okay.
Pretty positive.
So fast forward to my project and my idea, and somehow this got approved, and somehow everything like I was never told no.
No, no one ever
But you
told you
saw
no in that
my
class. They
rough,
definitely should have.
yeah. But you saw my rough draft, my final draft, the presentation. So my final was I made a script for a scene.
Mhm.
The scene was Beaker from the Muppets meets Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, so this was just something like we came up with like stupidly like in our group before. Like Christian's like, what if I did this? And I'm like, you have to at least try. And like our teacher was like, if you can, I remember exactly what she said. She's like, if you can come up with a good enough scenario in which these two characters would logically meet, you can do it.
Because
She shouldn't have said that.
because first off, she should have known it's me.
It's you.
It's me.
You'll find where there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly. Second off, hey, if there's a will, there's a way. Fast, we can. There's other stories from this class we can tell, like how we made a whole failed skit. All right,
That's
that's another story. But
episode. We should just make a whole episode on just that creative writing class.
God, we should. That would be great. But to get back to
That'd
this,
be
so
so
if there's,
great.
so what I did
Anyway,
is it was a 3-character scene. We had Beaker, Groot, and then obviously, of course, Dr. Honeydew, who had like I think 2 lines in the beginning of the scene, and that was it. And
Yeah.
it was like, oh hey, we're gonna like send Beaker to like through this portal that I've been working on. Sends Beaker through the portal. He meets
to like
Groot.
to like alternate realities and like universes and stuff like that. He was playing with the idea of like an extended universe and like a multiverse, but he really just took it all too far.
Yeah. And so the entire script, it ended up being 3 pages, and it was 3 pages of just Beaker making Beaker noises, you know, like the meeps
Yeah.
and stuff, and then Groot saying "I am Groot."
And there was this full conversation. It would just be like 3 lines of just a bunch of meeps, and then Groot would say, "I am Groot," and then it'd be a bunch more meeps, and then "I am Groot." It was literally like there's like a whole like 4 words.
And not only that, I then had to present it in front of the entire class as everybody had to sit through what I'm gonna, of course, lovingly call a monstrosity. Um, because again, this wasn't a creative writing class.
Yeah.
And if you rewind in that class, I had written actual like good pieces. Like I have like a writing, like you know what I mean. Like I
That's
can
where
write.
the original idea for That's the Flavor took place, actually.
Exactly.
It's its origin story.
Exactly. Well, technically his origin story is another story, but it's part of the origin story. You're not wrong.
Yes. Well,
But
the book was. It was really going to be a book.
that's true. Yeah, the book was born in creative writing. That's true. But like in some way, I got 100 on it.
He got 100% on it.
Comparison to Peyton's project and what I just described to you all, and I got 100.
You got 100%. And okay, but the part that just killed me the most is that you did have to do like a full like presentation of this project, in which you so lovingly chose me to be Beaker, and the rest of our group of 4 to be the rest of the characters. So I kid you not, audience, I stood in front of my entire creative writing class, backed by the one, the only Christian Slider, and I made Beaker sounds for 10 to 15 minutes in front of our entire class comprised of juniors and seniors. A lot of these people I graduated with, and I had to do that.
You know what's great?
Right in front of them.
What's great is the fact that like I did everything for that project the night it was due.
Yep.
Because literally, like, so the point where like I'd sit there during class. It's like, oh hey, it's a free work period. I just like sit there on my laptop watching YouTube, and then sometimes she would walk over, and I'm just like, yeah, or distracting just my entire group, or especially Peyton, and then just she would walk around and be like, oh hey, how's everybody's work going? I like I like switch over to a Word document and just type some meeps and stuff really quick. Or like the day, like, and then you pen over and it's like Peyton working, like typing up the concept for this children's story, and it's just like, I should have gotten an F, man. Like I don't know how everything panned out. Now, mind you, I'm grateful for the A. Hey everyone, it's your favorite Christian from the future here to tell you that there was a little bit of a technical difficulty, so we're going to skip forward a little bit, and we're still talking about the same thing, just skipping over some messed up audio. And on that note, let's get back into the show. Enjoy, you guys. That is a great definition of me. I got to give that one to you. That's no one's brought that up. That's a great one.
It's a good one. It's like that's like my the first one I think of is 6, just because that's like a really like solid memory and everything like that, and it was really great fun time. But if I want to think about like Christian Slider stories, that's the first one that comes to my mind, because you said, Peyton, you're one of my best friends, and I want you to play Beaker in front of your entire class, our entire class, and do it with a straight face.
And what's great is I played the technical guy because I wrote in light cues, so I had to turn the lights on and off. So and the class like was like not like for this performance not set up that well, mind you. Like it was not a great stage setup.
It was a standard classroom.
So I'm sitting.
Wasn't I on a chair, or someone was on a chair?
Yeah, I believe Olivia was on a chair.
Right.
I believe. Because she was Groot and we wanted her to be taller than the rest, it just made more sense.
Yeah.
But like I feel so bad because as you guys were performing it, I was standing just directly behind the one girl who sat next to the light switch as I was just turning on and off the lights in certain moments, and just awkwardly standing behind her for 10-15 minutes.
Oh my god.
Like just flicking the lights. Because only I knew the light cues. I couldn't trust somebody else to do them.
Yeah, obviously not.
Exactly. And honestly, so I felt really bad the other day, right? Because I was on campus actually for my acting class. And we were talking about what was the last show you saw. And I put down Mamma Mia when I went and saw it at a playhouse near me. Completely forgetting about the fact that we saw 6 in March of this year. And it was the last live show I've seen. Just completely forgetting. And then I got home that day.
One of my favorite memories of my entire lifetime.
It's mine too. Got it? No. And it's mine too. But I realized that I got home and I was like, oh shit,
Wait
I
a
saw
minute.
6. I saw 6. That's right.
I saw a Broadway show.
Man.
Okay.
And I was like, oh man, I hate myself. Like, I could have just like slam dunked on my entire class. You know what I
You
mean?
could have.
And
You
like,
saw
hey, I
6
saw Broadway
officially
before
open on
Broadway was
Broadway.
dead.
Yeah, before Broadway literally took the massive L that it's taking right
Broadway
now.
took the biggest L.
They did.
Now,
Oh man.
of course, I want to, since we brought up creative writing, I want to go back to one of my favorite stories from creative writing.
Oh.
So, the creative writing class, we had this like magazine, right? and for New Year's, we had
That's
to
the
do
video you need to post on Twitter without any context. That's the video. You know exactly which video I'm talking
Hi, I'm
about.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Lawrence.
And so
Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
we had to make this video, or we had to make a thing, right? And we were like in these groups, or we could do it in a group. So we decided to be in a group and do this video. It was me, Peyton, and the 2 others who sat in our little group of us that were like we were the cohorts. And so we scripted out and wrote this entire video about the Socks for a Better Future Foundation. And the whole thing with the skit was, oh man, where it's this commercial that's playing during the ball drop ceremony, and then like at the end it cuts back and the ball drops,
Yeah, because we tried to theme it to New Year's, but we were really just like, Christian was really just like, no, I want to make it about socks. We're gonna figure out how to make it about socks and New
mind you, we did. So we spent like 3 days spending this entire class period wandering around the high school, filming different scenes. Freaking out one of our other teachers who was working in the auditorium. Just lots of things, walking the doors. But it was structured to the point where I, in the skit, was playing Jennifer Lawrence. And I was part of the Socks for a Better Future Foundation.
Yeah, it's like the ASPCA commercials where they get like a celebrity to like endorse them.
Exactly. That was the...
It's like the Alyssa Milano, what would you do if there was a child right in front of you type deal.
Exactly. For 80 cents a day, you can save a sock.
Yeah. So Christian decided that of all the people, there was, mind you, at least one person who was blonde in our group. And there's 3 females in our group. But Christian's like, no, I'm going to play Jennifer Lawrence.
It's true. It's true. It's
no
great
wig, no costume, just Christian Slider, but saying and proclaiming that he was in fact not Christian Slider.
Look, if as a viewer or an audience member, you can't picture me visually as Jennifer Lawrence, and that's on you. Get a better imagination. All right? That's all I have to say. That's all I gotta say. But you then fast forward, we finish the video, I get a rough draft edited and present it in front of the class. We presented it, and we had to sit there and watch our video, our skit, our baby, our child, and then sit there as it was torn apart by the rest of the class because they did not like it.
They were not chill.
They did not like it. They really went in. They really critiqued real hard.
They literally kicked us out of the room. So
no. We asked to leave the room. I remember that. We asked because we were like, this is really uncomfortable, and like we didn't like it. And I was like, because our teacher was like, hey, so we're gonna watch it again and really break down some things that can be worked on. And after they had already just like ripped into it, and like we also just didn't like watching because we knew it was a rough draft and stuff like that. And so we asked to sit out in the hallway while they went and critiqued it again and continued to nitpick it a little bit. And let's just say that there was never a final draft.
It never came to fruition. We were too scarred.
To the point where then you fast forward, and if you remember looking at our grades, she still gave us an A on the assignment.
Even though we never
turned it in
the final draft, or turned anything in, for that matter. All I remember from that video is I brought a laundry basket to school with me,
I remember that.
filled with clothes, and there was a shot of me just digging in a laundry basket and throwing. But everyone's like, Peyton, why are you walking around the high school with a laundry basket full of laundry? And I was like, I don't have time to discuss this right now. I have to be at class. I was just because like it's a laundry basket. It's too big to fit in my locker. So until I got down to like the music area, like band room, and I could like put it in the band room, and no one would question me because why not? Is there a laundry basket in the band room?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We also made two socks kiss.
Yes, we did. We did make two socks kiss. There was a love story involved. There was a lot of subplots in this.
A lot of subplots.
Very unnecessary subplots.
My favorite part of that though was when I was filming a scene and I had two socks on my hands, and then we heard someone building something behind the curtain of the stage. So we walk back, and it's one of our other teachers for a different class, like working on the set for I don't know if at that time
Wives.
No, it would have been for Big Fish.
Oh, it would be for Big Fish.
Because if you think about it, this was a New Year's thing. It was before New Year's, meaning
like January. Yep, you're right.
So he was like cutting stuff up, and I just walk back and I go, "Oh, hey, Mr. So and So," or like insert name here. And he was like, "Christian, what are you doing?"
Socks on your hands?
Yeah, he's like, "Why do you have socks on your hands?" I was like, "Oh, we're filming a video for creative writing," and he was like,
"Socks kiss,"
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, am I being too loud?" And I was like, "No, we just wanted to see who was back here before we continued." That's all. And he's like, "All right, see you next period." And I was like, "Yep, see you next period." And then I walked back from the curtain. In summary, we made two socks kiss.
Yeah, and creative writing was a joke.
Still one of my favorite classes from high school.
Oh, absolutely. So many good memories from that class.
Exactly. And on that note, audience, it is time to bring this episode of That's the Flavor to a close. You guys know that I've been trying to keep these episodes shorter for your guys' convenience, my convenience. You guys know the whole dealio-wheelio. Because I think you guys like shorter episodes. But if you guys like this episode, make sure to share it with a friend. That's definitely what helps. That's the Flavor. It gets spread around the most. Like, Peyton, tell all of your roommates. Just tell them all.
Okay.
Tell them all. Be like, hey, listen to this podcast I was on, and that'll be more people that can hopefully listen to the joyous That's the Flavor flavors.
Exactly.
So if you enjoyed it, just make sure you let people know, or just listen to it, have a good time, talk about it a little bit. Remember, That's the Flavor is brought to you every Monday, and yeah, Peyton, thank you so much for being back on the show. Because it's been 6 months.
Yeah.
A little bit. Again, part of that is one, guest neglect, and two, the fact that it took a 3-month break. Or I guess 4-month break. Math is hard. But yeah. So until next time, audience, this has been That's the Flavor. I've been Christian Slatter. I will see you all next Monday for another episode of audio goodness. And until next time, stay flavorful.